should be working, but I will check. You guys may not be back. There we go. But we'll wait to see if you guys kick back in here in a second. I like how it tells me I'm live. Okay, that works. But I don't know if anybody's here, so I'll have to wait and see. Well, welcome back. Sorry for the crash. And my audio's off. Okay, welcome back. There. Audio timing is slightly off. Was slightly off. Yeah, I get every now and then I get a crash, and it's the weirdest thing, but yeah, so back to our earlier conversation. What were we talking about? Yeah, so, you know, if I have to, you know, I have to recover, and I still have, oh my God, I still have, from my surgery, I still have 6 months of recovery time for that. You know, so I gotta get out and start walking and exercising and stuff, because I've been living like a hermit, right? Like, I don't leave my house. The only place I go is the grocery store, the hospital. You know, I don't go shopping. I don't go, you know, walk to malls. I don't go, you know, out to eat. You know, I didn't do a lot of that stuff because I was sick, right? And I'm not supposed to. And I'm okay with it, but you start to, at some point, you start to get shack wacky, right? And your brain says, oh, go see people. Go look at somebody. You know. Go see what the people are wearing these days. Go find clothes that fit, you know. Go be normal. Go to the arts and crafts store and buy something. But, you know, that's what I'm talking about. So I got to rebrand life, and, like, you know, it's also different, too, because it's you know, before, you do everything with your partner, right? For those of you, partner, loved one, family, wife, whatever. You do things a certain way for certain people that you have in your life. And I wouldn't change anything that I've ever done. You know, and I've always been the provider, the caregiver, taking care of my family. You know, they come first. You know, they get everything first. You know, give somebody's shirt off my back kind of person. Whatever. And now that I'm starting over single, by myself, alone, basically like I'm in a foreign country, you know, I doing full immersion, dropped off somewhere, and okay, well, let's do things, but now it's from ground zero, start over. I mean, literally, my whole life is start over. So I get to break out of things that I may not have liked, right? Like, I get to say, oh, well, I'm no longer going to go here and be this way because I'm not that person anymore. Nor is it normal for me to be that person anymore. So, you know, that's where it becomes interesting, because you know, as a caregiver, as a person who's always there for other people, and you're doing things, to do it the other way, and now it's all about you. You've got to be this selfish person, or learn how to do things for yourself, which I've never done. It's a whole new learning process. So I've got to do things that break me out of my shell, and say, okay, well, you know, normally, and here's a good example. Like, normally, say for example, I was gonna go buy something, a video. No, let's take this chair for example. when my wife passed for Christmas, for everybody's Christmas, I made sure everybody had a really nice chair. I bought everybody a gaming chair. I wanted to make sure everybody had something nice, something they could use, something that's going to last them a long time. So I bought everybody a gaming chair. I did not buy one for myself. I didn't buy my chair till 2 years later. But I made sure every person that I knew that was getting one, family, I bought a chair. I bought something that was for them. So I bought three chairs, 2 chairs, and a computer. So no, I took care of, everybody, right? So, but that's just the way I am, right? And that's the way I've always been. Like it would be the same thing like if I'm sitting down and we're having Sunday supper, Sunday dinner, and there isn't enough food and the little one's hungry. Well, here, eat mine. I will go back and, I will go make something. Like, and that's a good story too, like leftovers, for example. My kids can't cook. They could never cook for themselves growing up. They can't do anything. Kids, right? So if we made a big Sunday supper, I always got in trouble. Wife was like, why aren't you eating leftovers? I said, don't worry, there won't be any because those 2 are going to eat the leftovers because they can't make anything. They can't make a sandwich for themselves. They can't throw something in a microwave. They can't cook on a stove. And so there would never be leftovers. And I would always get in trouble because I wouldn't eat the leftovers. But that was strictly intentional because I wanted to make sure that they were covered because I can get my butt up and make sandwich. I can get up and make toast. I can do things. And if I can't do those things, well, by God, I will figure a way to do it because I can do those. So for me, yeah, and now, like you said, now I have to learn to take care of myself. Everybody says, oh, you got to start doing this, take care of yourself. I don't know how to do that. I literally do not know how to do that. And I still talk myself out of things. Like I'll go to a store and I'll say, oh, look, I want to buy this. And then I'll go through the whole, let me research it. How much is it going to cost? Can I really afford this? Oh, what if the kids need shoes? Oh, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't do that. My grandson might like this instead. Let me not do this. Let me do A, B, and C. And so it's really weird to say, oh, hey, there's a new shirt. I need a t-shirt. I can buy a t-shirt. That's not a normal thought process for me. That's weird to me. And so it's been, it's like you got to retrain yourself, right? Like it's like, oh, let me get back into I got to do this. I've got to be able to do A, B, and C. Like I go to the grocery store, and that was the hardest change too. When you go from a household of 5 people to a household of 2 or 1, and you try to downsize in groceries. Man, I was dropping $500 a week on groceries. Now I'm dropping maybe $100 or less. It's a weird concept to try to cook and downsize everything when you're used to cooking for so many. That's been the hardest part of this whole process. Now I can buy like a $3 TV dinner, throw it in, and it's like, that's plenty of food. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't have to have leftovers. I don't have to have this. It's totally weird. It's weird not being able to, like, I'm literally throwing away stuff like bread and milk and whatever because I'm buying it because I need it, but I can't get through it. Normally, grandson and I would have grilled cheese sandwiches every day. Well, there's 6 loaves, 6 bread. I'd have toast in the morning. Wife and I'd have breakfast every morning, toast. A whole loaf lasts you a day or 2. A loaf of bread now lasts me a month. I can't go through it. And it's the weirdest concept, not being able to go through it. Because our grandson would take a sandwich to school, cheese sandwich or whatever sandwich to school every day. So there's more bread, right? And it's like, it's really hard when you're downsizing. It's like, because I became a widower and an empty nester basically at the same time. And so you go from 5 to 1, And then you go through the entire cancer treatment. I don't live near family. I don't have any friends. I don't have my immediate family, you know, from my marriage, I don't have any connections to. So I did the whole cancer treatment for a year and a half of being sick by myself. Last year was the first year, and I swear to God, it was the first year ever in my lifetime I did not receive a Christmas card or open one gift at Christmas time. I didn't get anything for Father's Day. I didn't get anything for my birthday, and I got nothing for Christmas. It was the weirdest concept ever. It was basically, you're sick, see you later. You know, and it's like, well, and now it's like I'm getting better. It's like, nah, I'm not living like that. I'll do whatever I want now. It's a total rebrand. You know, Giggy's Giggy, and Giggy's not going to go down that road. You know, you don't want to be part of Giggy's life. Well, that's on you, not on me. No, it's not that. You know, like my stepson, he got married. He got married. I was sick starting in January. His wedding was in February. You know, my wife died a year before that, right? So everybody lived with me, whatever. You know, I went to the wedding. I didn't get introduced to anybody on her side. I didn't meet a single person. You know, I sat there. My grandson was sitting there hugging me, snuggling me, whatever. You know, through that whole wedding, I looked like the pedophile with the child. You know, I didn't get introduced to anybody. I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't nothing. You know, I'm the husband whose wife just passed at my son's wedding, and not a single soul talking to me. It was the weirdest concept ever. And part of it, and it pissed me off. Part of it was because, and I don't know if it was her or him, but you know, he was moving out, going to start a family, wanted to buy a house. And he said to me, well, why don't you sell your house and give me money? And I'm like, I'm not selling our house and giving you money. That's not the way life works. I'm not selling my house so you can have money so you can buy a house. You got a girl pregnant, you want to move out, do your thing, you do your thing, but I'm not selling my house and buying you a home. And then where am I living? You know, but it was thrown in my face, right? And I was like, wow, okay. And then she accuses me of something, says, well, you know, you can't. And it was like, okay, so our grandson lived in my house from birth to 7, right? So every morning, son gets up, got to go to work, 5 o'clock, whatever. Grandson comes up and sleeps with us because we're not getting up for another couple hours for school, right? So I'm the person who takes our grandson to daycare. I'm the one who takes him to the bus for school. I'm the one who does all of that, right? I get told, you know, they're moving out, whatever, and all of a sudden I get cut off. No communication. And I get told, because my grandson says, well, that's not the rules because he's moving to a new house, because it's not the way that Giggy makes the rules. He got in trouble with the new wife, right? Or new mother. And I'm like, well, okay, so he's moving to a new house. You put him in his own room. He's never slept in his own bed in his entire life. And now you're forcing him to sleep in his own room. You know, because that's what's supposed to have happened. Well, that didn't happen when you were parenting as a single parent. And so then you're turning around and you're blaming me for that, right? So I can't see my grandson until he gets better and stops being bad. And I'm like, that's not me. You're using that as an excuse and blaming me, right, for your bad parenting. Because you were the father who chose to know my son's going to sleep with me every day. You know, and you didn't train him in his own room and you moved out and you had to because of your new wife. That's not on me. That's on you. But you blamed me. And I'm like, fine, so be it. And then she accuses me of manipulating my stepson. And I'm like, what are you talking about? How do I manipulate my stepson? Because I wouldn't sell my house and give him money? because I wouldn't do things for you guys. You don't invite me to anything. I don't get introduced to anybody. You don't want me part of your family. Something funny there, I'm the grandfather that does everything, has the same relationship with, my son and his grandfather. And you're accusing me of all kinds of random stuff because to me, it's like, it becomes a control thing, right? Like I'm thinking, oh, you're trying to control this guy because you had to move out of your place because your rent was up. You needed something else. You got pregnant. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you take care of me, Well, you're not getting my house. I mean, sorry. It's not the way life works. I worked hard for my house. You know what I mean? But then I get blamed for everything. So I haven't seen my grandson in over a year and a half, almost 2 years. My stepson won't talk to me. I get told that I can't have a conversation with him on the phone and bring up my grandson without being in some group text where she's involved. And I'm like, well, I'm not doing that. That's foolish. I can have a conversation with my son. I should be able to, anyway. Ad break. Now it's an ad break. Right. And it's interesting, too, because, like I'm a person, I made promises. I'm going to honor those promises because I am a man of my word. Right? I have done that my entire life. If I say I'm going to be somewhere or I say I'm going to... Oh, hold on. My system crashed. All right, let me... Hold on. Stream crashed.